Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're visiting a town near where I live called Newport Pagnell to do some street photography. Newport Pagnell apparently started off its name as Newport, and Newport means in Old English new market town. And back years ago, apparently, I've read this, William the Conqueror gave the town and surrounding area to a chap called Pagnell, and his family became sort of an integral part of the town, and eventually they took on the family name, so it became Newport Pagnell. Very interesting the position of it, because it was positioned north of Buckinghamshire, and very important because it had two rivers and lots of major roads, so it became a very busy town. And in fact, so I read, it became the centre for the lace industry, and lots and lots of work and business. And also, it was a very strategic position for Oliver Cromwell in the 17th century. It was a parliamentary garrison here for the troops during the Civil War, and that really helped Oliver Cromwell. So anyway, I'll talk a bit more about Newport Pagnell later, but today we're out with the Canon M50 again and the Sigma 56mm, which is the one I love for street photography. So we're going to just have a look around. We've got the sun's out, a few clouds and blue sky, so hopefully we can get some really good shots. Looking for people, shadows, light, that sort of thing. So hopefully we can get some. Okay, so we've got the Sigma 56mm on today. Really nice lens. I love this for street photography, this particular lens. It's a prime lens. I'm going to just set it up. So let's turn it on. Let's change some of these settings. So I've got ISO 100. Okay, so we need a few warm-up shots to get started. So let's just get a shot of this white building here. Just getting used to what the light is doing. Just get that person there looking in the window. So we've got some nice light down on the floor there. Of course, not many people around. I'll take a picture of it anyway. Just get someone walking through this light here. So I'll take a picture of this pub that's called the Coachmaker's Arms. In fact, we'll get a subject. Coachmaker's Arms. Now, Newport Pagnell was famous for coachmakers, actually, years ago, and quality coachmakers at that. And eventually, the company that was there was joined by Aston Martin, who some of you may know that they're the famous cars that are handmade and in the James Bond films. And in fact, Ian Fleming, the writer for James Bond, used to visit Newport Pagnell, and he also used to visit down in Bletchley, where the Bletchley Park is, all the code breakers. So hence lots of stories about cars and gadgets and spies and things. Must have inspired him. We'll walk that way. The place is still there, but they don't build the cars there anymore, but we'll have a look. So I carried on walking, and just along a bit I saw these two chaps having a look at one phone, so I thought that'd take a nice street shot with that sort of orangey wall in the background. And then I moved on a little bit further, and I saw a chap sitting there on his own. The sun had actually gone in now, but I thought I must get this, it must tell some sort of story. And again, looking at the phone, this is pretty usual these days. And then a little bit further on I saw this blue door, and I don't know why, I just wanted a photo of this blue door. I just thought it looked really good with the white surround. Then I saw these shopping trolleys just outside the co-op, and I thought I'll try and get a shot of these with a sort of blurry background, which seemed to work out okay. I was quite pleased with it. And then further on there was a shop with somebody just coming out, charity shop, and I just wanted to get that person coming out. And then there was this black door, and I thought I'll try and get someone walking in front of it, but actually these couple requested a photo and had quite a nice chat with them. Anyway, back to the door, trying to get somebody walking in front of it, and this young girl walked in front and I got that shot. Really liked the black door with the white surround and somebody in front of it. And then I saw this alleyway across the road, and I thought it'd be quite nice to get somebody walking in front of that. And here comes the chap, and I got that one. So I carried on walking, and then just as I got to this corner I saw somebody leaning against the wall having a cigarette, and I thought that would make quite a nice shot. Quite nice colours in the background as well on this particular one. And then further on I saw this shop. It was quite colourful, and this couple walking in front just seemed to complement the colours very nicely with the shadows on the floor. And then along a little bit further there was some nice colourful flowers. You can't really see it so well in the GoPro, but you'll see it in the picture. And there it is. You can see the lovely colours and the sort of blurry background of the tables in the background. And then on the left, this shop was quite colourful actually, and then I saw this woman in pink, and I thought she'd complement the colours nicely, so I got that shot, and it does look really nice in my eyes anyway. So I walked along to the end of the high street, and there was this church, and I needed to get this look up shot here because I thought it looked really nice with the clouds and the blue sky in the background. And then I turned round, and in London I love taking photos of the red buses, so I thought I've got to get one in Newport Pagnell. So here it is. I then walked round the back of the church, and there was this sort of row of cottages here. I thought this would take a nice shot. And then that building at the end, I'm not actually sure what it is, but it's probably connected with the church in some way. I thought that would be a nice shot, quite colourful with the blue sky. And the church had a nice wooden door, and I just had to get this close-up shot of the door, and then a look-up shot of the church with a bird flying over. So I'm now on my way back, and I saw the post office, and I thought nice shadows, red post box and people in front of the door, so I got that shot. I thought it was quite nice. And then this chap started to cross the road with the child on the back and the dog, and I thought a photo of the chap with the child on the back would be quite a nice street shot, tell some sort of story. I just wanted him to turn round, and there he was. I just got him. Anyway, I carried on walking, and then I'm going back past this shop, and I thought I've got to get one more of this if I can get a person. And then this person started crossing the road, and again I just think the colours complemented each other. So I carried on down to this turning here, and I saw the Costa coffee and the bike, somebody in the restaurant. I thought that'd tell a nice little story, and I like the colours as well that were coming through. And then there was this shot. I just thought I've got to take this one. It's like a silhouette of a soldier, obviously put there for Poppy Day, lest we forget. And then further on there was this house over on the right, and I really loved the wood on the outside of it, and I thought I've just got to get this shot, which I was quite happy with the blue sky and clouds. I tried to get a shot directly in front of it, but I think I should have moved back a little bit further. But it's all well and good saying that afterwards. But anyway, I was quite happy with this, the straight lines and the triangle shape of the roof. Now this bridge that we're just coming up to, so not the one that I'm walking across, as this is a modern footbridge, but the one just on the left is the oldest cast iron bridge in the country, and it was built in 1810 when things were getting very busy in this town and they needed to cross the river Ousel, and it's still in use to this day. So I thought I'd better try and get a shot of this. Now don't forget I had the prime lens on 56mm, so I was a bit too close from here, but nevertheless I tried my best to get a shot, and I wanted to get that 1810 in the shot as well. So I needed to move along a little bit further, as with a prime lens you have to position yourself as opposed to zooming in and out. So I've gone into sort of landscape here so that I can get a lot of the bridge in. So I carried on walking along, and on my right I saw these two front doors that looked absolutely brilliant with the black background. So I just had to cross the road and take a picture of these two front doors, a nice bright blue and red with the black surrounding. So I was very happy with that photo. Interestingly, all the doors along here were quite small. I would have had to bend down to get in most of the older houses. Not these ones here, but here I saw this milestone telling you how far it is from London, or to London and to Woburn. And then here we are at the Aston Martin Lagonda Heritage Centre. This is where the works used to be, and it's all still there, and you've got nice cars on display. So I thought I'd better get a photo of these cars. I didn't order one, mind you, but they look very nice and shiny, even though it had been raining. And then I'll come across to try and get a close-up of this Aston Martin at the end here, which I was quite happy with. Here we go, another bus. In London I would definitely take this, so I thought why not, let's try and get this shot of the bus with the driver in here. So I've just come up close and took this one, and we've just got somebody taking their ticket there as well, which was quite nice. Anyway, I'm working my way back now, and I quite like this building over on the right. Just the colour and the plain shape of it really, and the clouds and the blue sky. And then a little bit further along I saw this garage and some people walking along, and I thought I've just got to get these in front of the garage. So I just had to quickly get my camera set up and take that shot. And then a bit further on I can see this post box and a couple of people walking past, and I thought that would take a nice street shot. And then up here I saw this couple, sort of grey doors, grey jumpers, grey outfits, and I just thought that was quite nice with the woman and the child. I saw a chimney, and you've got to take a picture of a chimney, haven't you? Against the blue sky, I thought that looked really nice. Okay, that's me. I've been up to one end of the high street and back, and then also down to the Aston Martin works. I was thinking this morning actually, what is it about street photography that I like? And I don't know if you've done this, but have you ever found a photo, a really old photo of maybe the town that you live in, or a town nearby, or a city, and you start showing everybody, saying, look at that, look at the hats people wear, look at the clothes they're wearing, look at the moustaches on the men, or look at the hive of industry that there is, or those strange looking old cars or horse and carts. Well, that is why we do street photography, because we are recording the history, we're recording for the future. And yes, we're looking for nice shots with light and all that type of thing, and shadows, but what we're also doing is recording for the future, for our children and our children's children, so there's a record of what life used to be like. So street photography is about recording life and what life is like at the moment, so people can see in the future what we've lived through. So just remember that when next time you see a photo that someone's taken, maybe black and white or sepia from years and years ago, and you start thinking, oh, look at that, that's why it's worth taking photos. And I think street photography, doesn't matter what the camera is, doesn't matter whether you're a professional or not, you just need to take photos to record that snapshot in time for the future. Anyway, I hope you've liked the photos. If you did, please give me the thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.